show today. I'm Polly Ramos with Team Husle Productions. I'm here with University of Alabama outside hitter Leilia Toailoa. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show. How are you doing today?
Doing great. It's been great. You?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Growing up in Las Vegas and now competing in the SEC, what has been the biggest adjustment both as an athlete and as a person?
Growing up in Las Vegas, I was definitely used to like a certain pace and environment, but coming to compete in the SEC has been completely different. As an athlete, the biggest adjustment has been the level of competition. Like every single team in the conference is talented. Every player on the teams are well skilled, and every game feels like a championship game. So it truly does push you to just prepare better, stay disciplined, and bring your best every day. As a person, I've had to adapt just to being farther away from home and building a new support system. That was the biggest adjustment for me, just going from the West Coast all the way to the South and leaving my comfort zone. But over time, I realized that it's truly helped me become more independent and just taught me how to manage my time, balance school and athletics, and handle challenges on my own. So overall, the transition has made me grow not just as a player, but as a person.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Now, Polynesian heritage is an important part of who you are. How has your culture shaped the way you compete, lead, and represent yourself on and off the court?
My Polynesian heritage is a huge part of who I am. I was raised with the values like respect, humility, hard work, and always putting my family first. Those values influence everything I do, whether it's on the court or off the court, whether it's competing on the court, being a teammate, or just representing my school. But on the court, I'd say that my culture reminds me to just play with pride, resilience, and a team first mindset. I know I'm not just representing myself, but I'm also representing my family and everyone who has supported me along the way. So I feel like that just makes me extremely proud of where I come from, and I want to continue to reflect those same values off the court as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. You
Thank
were one
you.
of the nation's top high school players before arriving at Alabama. How did you stay grounded while balancing expectations and continuing to improve?
Honestly, it just all comes down to my priorities. From the beginning, my family and I have always had the goal of getting me to the next level, so I stayed focused on that instead of getting caught up in rankings or outside expectations, which my family have always kept me grounded about that and reminded me that there's always more work to do no matter what level you're at. So even today, I'm still working to improve some more. I knew that being considered one of the top players in the nation didn't guarantee anything. It just meant I had to keep improving, and like I said, still to this day is what I'm trying to do. I think just remembering why I started in the first place has helped me keep everything in perspective. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. What has been the biggest lesson you've learned since becoming a Division One athlete that people don't see from the outside?
The biggest lesson I've learned is that being a Division One athlete is about so much more than what people see on game day. It's the behind the scenes that people don't see. They see the games and the highlights, but they never really see the early mornings, the practices, the recovery, the film, schoolwork, and just the mental side of it all. You truly have to take care of yourself physically and mentally to perform at your best. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really see, especially the
Yeah.
mental side of the game. So
When you step onto the court, what mindset are you trying to bring into every match, regardless of the opponent?
regardless of the opponent, honestly, no matter who we're playing, I try to step on the court with the same mindset every match, which is just compete, stay confident, and do whatever it takes to help my team win. I don't want to play up or down to the competition. I want to be consistent with the team and I and how we play, how we bring energy, effort, and focus every single time, regardless of who we're playing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Every athlete experiences setbacks. Can you share a moment that challenged you and how it ultimately helped you grow?
I'd say last summer was probably the biggest challenge for me that I faced. I had shoulder surgery right before the season started, and it was tough because for the first time in a long time, volleyball was completely like out of my control. I feel like physically rehab was a grind for sure, but mentally was definitely the hardest part for me. I think just watching my teammates compete while I was on the sidelines wasn't easy at all. Like there were definitely days where I had to remind myself just be patient and trust the process. But I'd say looking back now, I'm extremely grateful for it. It gave me a different perspective of the game, and it truly taught me just to stay positive through the bad, celebrate your teammates even when you can't play, and just find ways to make myself useful off of the court. So, and also like it was just good for the girls to view me like not as a sideline player, but probably like another coach for them. So I'm grateful for everything that happened last season for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you're training at one of the highest levels in college volleyball. What does a typical day of preparation look like? And what habits have you made the biggest difference in your performance?
I'd say on a game day, it usually starts with a serve and pass like in the morning just to get touches on the ball. And that's usually like a simple practice, like, yeah, it's just basically a simple practice in the morning. And then after that, we'll go straight into the film room and just watch film to go over the scouting report, what our game plan is, and make sure we're just prepared for our opponent. And then from there, it's definitely all about taking care of my body. So I eat whatever the nutritionist has for us, um, and head straight into the training room just for extra treatment before the game. But I feel like recovery, nutrition, and sleep are just as important as what I do in practice. So what I do off the court reflects how I play. So these habits definitely keep me dialed in for game days.
Yeah, that's extremely inspiring.
Thank you.
Now, what part of your game have you worked the hardest to develop since arriving at Alabama, and where have you seen the most growth?
I think at Alabama, I've worked the hardest on just becoming a more complete player. Coming into college, everyone is talented, so it's really the little things that separate you from the rest. I really tried focusing on improving my volleyball IQ and just being more consistent on the court and learning how to make better decisions in different and difficult situations. And that's what I'm currently still trying to do for sure. There's always more room for me to improve. I've also grown a lot mentally because college volleyball has taught me how to handle pressure, stay confident through the ups and downs, and just how to move on quickly from mistakes. So,
Now, as a Polynesian athlete competing on a national stage, what does it mean to you to inspire the next generation of young athletes from the islands?
oh, I like that question. It means a lot to me only because growing up, I've always looked up to other Polynesian athletes who showed me that it was possible to compete at the highest level. Now knowing that younger kids might be watching me the same way is something that I don't take for granted. I want them to know that where you come from doesn't limit where you can go. Your culture is a strength. Our culture is a strength. The values that we grow up with and the values that we are taught can take you a long way if you just stay committed to your goals. And if my journey can inspire just honestly any young athlete from the islands or from a Polynesian family, or even just someone in my family, like my nieces and nephews, like honestly just go for it, just chase your dreams. And I know that that'd be something that I'm really proud of for them to look up to someone like me. And I want them to see that you can stay true to who you are, represent your culture with pride, and just compete at the biggest stages. So
I love that. Now, if your teammates had to describe you in just 3 words, what do you think they'd say, and do you think they would be accurate?
there's a lot of words, honestly. I think if I had to dial it down to 3 words, I'd probably say they would describe me as someone who is fiery, energetic, and just prideful. Those would be accurate because that's just who I am, honestly. I try to bring those values wherever I go, and implement them as a player and as a person. So
Now, moving on to our fun question. What's one thing that is always in your volleyball bag that is not volleyball related?
if I had to look in my bag right now, I would probably say my lip liner and my lip gloss.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, like I can't go anywhere without it, you know.
Yeah.
Look pretty, play pretty, you know, just all of
Yeah.
it. So
That's
yeah.
amazing.
It's actually in my bag right now. So
Thank you. Well,
yeah.
that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being with us and tuning in on our show. We wish you the best of luck on your volleyball journey and hope to see you soon. This is Polly from Team Hustle Productions signing off. And for everyone watching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all of our platforms at Team Hustle Football. And stay tuned for more content.
Bye.
Bye.